Today on Sammy's Sessions.
So we've talked about this a bit, but I want to kind of go over stuff that we've talked about already as well, so that I can kind of enter it into an official record. Since this is the first session of 4 that we're going to do, to discuss some of the stuff that has been going on since the event that you had a few days ago. You want to tell me exactly what day that was?
It was Saturday, I believe.
Okay, that would be Saturday the 30th or the 29th?
Yeah.
29th.
I think it's the 29th.
One of those. Saturday the 29th or 30th. Today's the May 2nd, Tuesday. All right, yeah. So tell me what happened from the top.
Okay, from the top, this was my day off. I was actually hanging out with Miley. We'd been adventuring around the city. We came up to the hospital. One of her friends was here, and we were standing in front of the fountain just having a casual conversation.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like, I blinked and I opened my eyes and I was in prison.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And I looked up and I, was told that I had 20 months.
Damn.
And I was just in, like, fight or flight mode, like, freaking out.
For sure.
Because why am I in prison? What happened? What did I do?
Right.
And I ended up in a cell with 2 guys, and one of them was doing push-ups. And I started to walk around the control area, I guess, of the prison to figure out what was going on. I was looking for an officer. There was no officer. I walk outside into the prison yard, trying to find like the exit or the main office to figure out what's happened. No one is around. Then the sirens start going off. And I'm like, what is going on? Turns out there was like a fight outbreak and a prison break, and like all of the officers started running around. I'm yelling to get someone's attention. Everyone is ignoring me, running past me. No one acknowledged me when I was asking them to help me. I ended up running to a corner where a gang was hiding, one that I have dealt with in my prior job that I have sent to prison in the past. So I was just terrified because I didn't know what to do. I had nowhere to go, no way out, and none of the officers that I did come into contact with were willing to help me.
Yeah. Because they just kind of assumed that you were there for a good reason, right? And you're supposed to be there.
Right, I guess so.
So no one helped you. No one communicated with you. No one said anything that they were going to help you or anything. So how long of this amount of time, the 20 months, were you in there?
I was in there for about 10 months.
Oh, man.
Before anyone came and got me. And
do you know how they figured out that at all? That they needed to come get you? Or
I don't know how they figured it out. But like when he came in, he was calling by my name.
Oh, really? So they knew. They clearly knew at that point that they had made a mistake. I wonder how they knew that they made a mistake.
I have no idea, but like it was the most traumatic experience of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you. One of the reasons that when you asked me if we could set up some therapy sessions, of course I took it seriously because because it wasn't something that you'd asked me before. And I knew that I knew it wouldn't be for no reason. But I didn't really realize like the extent of what had happened to you in that amount of time. But I'd say in the last, 4 days ago? In the last 4 days, every time I've been in the city, which has been every day, either a day and or night, I have heard you talking about that specific event.
Yeah.
without fail. So it was clearly, I heard about, we kind of caught up on the situation yesterday for the first time.
Yeah.
And I heard the extent of it, and man, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's really scary, and I'm
It's
really
been
sorry that
very
that happened to you.
scary. I've been having nightmares. I feel like triggered when I hear sirens sometimes, which
Mm,
is not very good for like my work. I work around sirens,
right,
it's part of the job.
right,
But I've been trying to put on a brave face and be myself, but it's
yeah.
just really hard.
No, I understand that. I understand that because there was nothing about it that could have prepared you for it. Nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, you weren't in a police chase. You
Right.
didn't there wasn't even a cop around.
Right.
um, it wasn't like you were watching a criminal get taken into custody and be like, wow, that person's about to go to jail. At least your mind might be pointed in that direction.
Right.
But for you, it was completely random, and
Yeah, I
traumatizing.
was having an amazing day. I went to the beach, we went to the casino,
Yeah,
we checked out the Mile High Club and just ventured around the city. I was having a wonderful day, and then
yeah,
that just took it all away from me.
yeah. Man, I'm so sorry that happened. That's crazy. That's a crazy story. And then, I mean, out of all people, right? A former DA who literally
Yeah.
has locked up half the people that or half, if not all the people that you encountered there.
Right. And I felt like I was isolated and alone, like a minnow in a shark tank.
Yeah,
All
that's
those
tough.
gang members and people that know me from putting them in jail in the
Right.
past. Like if I were in there any longer and someone would have recognized me, who knows what could have happened to me in there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I just can't believe that happened to you. And I'm sorry for it. And I'm going to do the best that I can to begin to try to chip away at some of the pain and fear and trauma that has popped up out of nowhere. I don't think it's going to be super quick. I don't. That's why I wanted to make sure we scheduled 4 solid appointments. Um, but I think that it's going to be a process, and we're going to get through it together.
Okay.
Um, I not that it matters that much, but I know that there is some sort legal case at this point.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me anything about that, or?
Well, I just wanted to like press charges because of like the pain that I've been going through and also just the negligence of like the officers in the DOC and the
Yeah,
officer that put me in jail. And like I want to advocate for better practices at law enforcement.
sure.
Um,
Did
and just
anybody
make sure this
explain
doesn't happen to anyone
anything?
else.
Did anyone?
No,
No one. No one said anything. They didn't
no.
say that. They
The
just.
only thing that he said was he was trying to send someone to jail and he sent me by mistake. But like when he told me the number that he was entering in to send like enter them into the system, it wasn't
Mhm.
even close to mine. It started with different numbers. So I'm like, how did you do that? Like you like, check their number before you send them. Like, how did you send me?
Yeah, it wasn't even close to the number you said, right?
No, it was like a 3 and a 6. Like it was like that much of a difference.
Oh wow, wow. Like yeah, uh, yeah. You know, uh, man. My first when you first told me, my first thing was like, oh my gosh, I can hear everybody now. EMS versus PD, or EMS shouldn't sue PD. We all make mistakes, type stuff.
Yeah.
And to a certain degree, that's the to a certain degree, I can see that. We are on the same side of the law. But in this particular case, I want to make sure that that I reiterate what I told you yesterday, that I'm standing with you and by you on this whole thing. That I will, appear in court for you. Whether it's, if you need me to be on the stand, fine. If you need me to, because I've already seen the trauma that is done in your life without even having to without even getting to this point. Um,
Yeah.
to the point where we are here now. And matter of fact, you know, I didn't realize that that sirens are kind of triggering right now. Next time, next session we have, we'll go a little bit further up north, or we can even go to a few different spots that I know of where we can kind of get the same calming effect. My whole goal is to bring you out of the city, bring you out of the chaos and pandemonium of our job,
Yeah.
and anything that could be possibly triggering, and to just discuss what's happening, discuss what feelings are present, and then kind of establish this sort of environment. And then hopefully what we can do is we can start doing some breathing exercises, some stretching, maybe some yoga stuff. That
Yeah.
once we can kind of get you, out of that environment, out of the chaos of the city, which is the chaos of our job. And that's,
Yeah.
that's all fine and good. But probably another reason why I want you to go off duty and is so that you're not getting those alerts, right? Nothing's kind of distracting that. But we can just work on breathing. We can work on things that you can do to channel good, healthy mental practices and mental exercises while you are experiencing some of the triggering traumatic pain stuff.
Yeah.
So that we can start giving you a toolbox to essentially combat when you feel triggered. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
I just want to get back to my old
I
self.
know. I know it. I know it. Have you really done much exploring or anything since that day, or?
Not gonna lie, I've been kind of just burying myself in work in my like house.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot goes on in the city, and every time I like, see the police cars out, I get a little frazzled.
Yeah.
So I tend to just stay at home.
Okay. Well, hopefully maybe we can do some stuff where we're kind of out of the house and we're into nature, into some chill spots. You know what I'm saying? Away from everybody, away from everything. I know that that's essentially what you're doing prior to this event, which
Yeah.
like I said, can add to the anxiety that it's completely random, completely unprovoked, unexpected.
Yeah.
Um, and because of that, I am a big proponent of people making sure that they are advocating for themselves. And in this particular case, I think it's very important for you to advocate for yourself. And I think it's noble that
Yeah.
you're advocating not only for yourself, but to make sure that this doesn't happen to other people. And maybe this case can bring some awareness to the type of
Yeah.
trauma, because I think people might not really be thinking about that. Like, oh yeah, whatever. It was just a mistake, whatever it is, and I'm sure it was a mistake. Obviously, he didn't mean to send you to jail.
But the
Um,
thing is, I think when I was talking to my attorney, he mentioned that something similar happened to someone else. So it's not
is that
a
right?
rare occurrence. Yeah.
Wow, wow.
Innocent people being sent to jail is just not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not okay. It's there are things that there is a responsibility, a certain responsibility with the power that you wield to be able to send someone to jail. Is
Yeah.
the responsibility is to get it right every time.
Right.
You know.
And this is like, it's just a terrible time.
Okay, so you haven't done a ton of venturing out. You're just kind of buried in the house, buried in work. Um,
Yeah.
I um, I'm hoping that we can, begin to coax you out of that back into kind of a normal routine. What would you say
Yeah.
your routine was before this? That's probably
Well, it just makes me kind of nervous. It's like I was out exploring and doing things and like running around the city and I got thrown in jail. Like usually I try to go out to like social things and like meet up with friends and I'd helped a friend like go house hunting and like going to like the parties when I can or like
yeah,
whatever. But like I don't know, I feel like one time that I was like trying to like enjoy myself because I usually do work a lot. It's like
yeah.
and like I get out and I ended up in jail. It's
That's
like
crazy.
I try to help people all day and I go in there, I feel alone and scared and no one was willing to help me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so tell me from the what happened. Did they? So you said that they didn't say a ton to you. Did they apologize? Did they?
He did apologize, but I was in such shock. I barely even speak back to him. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't believe that just happened. He was
Yeah.
apologetic. I'm not saying he was like rude or anything, but like it's just it was just a lot. Like I don't think I think you may have been here when I got back, but like I could barely talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, again, I'm sorry that that happened. I can't believe it happened to you. We're going to work through it. We're going to get you back to your normal self. I think it's honorable that you're championing this on your shoulders because a lot of time the court experience can be re-traumatizing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that being able to talk to me about some of the details of the event are going to help with not only
Yeah.
recollection but being able to be a little bit more comfortable when you're
Yeah.
recalling this in front of people. I want to make sure that I encourage you not to be fearful of any sort of repercussions. My business brain was triggering yesterday when we talked about this being misconstrued as EMS versus PD
Yeah.
occurrence.
And it's nothing to do with that because like
Totally,
I respect the PD. I used to work with them
totally.
very closely. It's just like, I was coming from a traumatic experience and just on the up and up, like
Yep.
getting out of a toxic relationship. I bought my own home. I was
Yeah.
really happy.
Yeah.
And then like, new job, just got a promotion and
Yeah. Yeah.
everything. So like that would like really just took me back down.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. So let's I just got a I try to follow my gut when I'm in my therapy sessions, and I think that's, I don't know, that typically works out halfway decent. So let me get you to stand up. Would you join me in taking off your Jordans and kind of feeling the sand in your toes for a little bit?
Yeah.
I want you to we're gonna walk down to the water, and when we walk down to the water, I want you to just try to zone out, and I want you to trying to do two things. I want you to feel the feels, and I want you to hear the sounds, and that's it.
Okay.
I'm going to we're gonna walk. I'm gonna walk you down there. I'm gonna walk you just down, nowhere close to deep enough to even get the bottom of your pants wet, but just enough to kind of get your feet wet, to feel the sand in between your toes, to feel the sand, the texture from the sand change from how it's a little bit dry up here to a little bit more firm as we walk down, to all the way down to when we're walking on to the edge of the water, and how your feet kind of sink in a little bit and let the water kind of splash over your feet a little bit. At the same time, I want you to completely zone out and just close your eyes and listen to the waves and listen to the air, listen to the seagulls. And I want you to just, we're going to do that. And I'm going to do that for a solid 3 to 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Once we get down there. But I just want you to imagine yourself going from this warm sand and the busyness of the world and the complications that have arisen, to, as we walk down to the firm sand and then to the wet sand and then to the water, and then hearing the sound of the breeze and the sound of the waves. I want you to just imagine that everything that you experience in daily life and through this experience just slowly drifts away, and you just completely just focus on the sensations that you're hearing, feeling the feels, and hearing the sounds. Sound good?
Okay, I can try.
All right. Let's just we're just gonna walk down to the beach a little bit. We're still kind of feeling the warmth of the sand, the sandiness, the grittiness. Sand starts to get a little cooler, a little firmer. As we get towards the water, just get your feet wet, just into the edge of the water.
Okay.
And then just begin to relax. Clear your mind. Deep breaths. In your nose, out your mouth. In your nose, out your mouth. We're going to relax here for a few minutes.
Okay.
Water's raising up. If you need to come back towards come back towards the shore a little bit.
I was looking for your profile on Life Invader, but I couldn't find it.
You can.
I don't even really know how to check my email.
Feel the water recede. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Get lost in the waves.
I know it's overdue, but what can I do, man?
Get lost in the wind.
Man, you don't get your money. Stop calling me.
In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Five more repetitions. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. In through your nose. Out through your mouth.
Jones for a drink.
In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Two more. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Last one, make it a good one. Deep breath in through your nose. And out through your mouth. All right, while we're down here, let's just do a little bit of stretching. Let's engage our body a little bit in the wind and in the waves. Think about stretch.
Okay.
I know, right? Totally fucking amazing. And her fucking ass.
Whoa. These locals are doing the most.
No,
They kind of are, yeah.
She totally checked me out, though.
Again, we'll go somewhere where we can't hear sirens or locals.
Yeah, baby.
Go ahead and
Good idea.
switch to stretch 2 now. You're going to be able to get a good stretch on those hamstrings. So much blood flows through our legs. So much of
Yeah, this is
our
nice.
being centered. Throat flows through our core. So get a good stretch on both hamstrings.
Tight, but good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Well, they're not moving around as much as they did before this whole thing.
Yeah, true.
And then let's go to stretch 3 now. Some lower lumbar rotations.
Okay. Oh, this is nice.
Yeah. Now we're tying in some of the stretching we did from our legs and tying it into our core, getting the blood moving in our shoulders. And just make sure that as you're going through this whole thing, you're just continuing to listen to the sound, hear the sounds, and feel the feels. Pay attention to the things that are going inside your body. Is there anything that's a little sore? You notice that there's something a little tight a second ago. Just keep paying attention to yourself.
Yeah.
And then once we're done with this, we can come up to the firmer part of the beach a little bit. And I just want to do a little bit of meditation, and then we'll call it a wrap.
All right.
So let's walk up here to where the sand is a little bit more firm, just so that we don't get our pants all dirty. And go ahead and think about meditate. Myself personally, this is a time of prayer for me, so I'll think about namaste as well.
Okay. I'll try that.
I don't care if he's married. I need that bonus.
She don't care if he's married.
It's not sexual harassment.
Crazy.
I like it.
Oh. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Just taking those deep breaths, continue to hear the sounds and feel the feels. You know, I kind of needed it too, so it worked out all right.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I think that's kind of a beautiful benefit of my work, is that I get to helping people helps me, you know?
Yeah. That's kind of how I am too. I like to help people. When I was in DOJ,
Yeah.
I wanted to, help the city. Working EMS, I wanted to want to make sure I'm helping the people be their best and be well.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt so isolated. Like, no one's looking out for me sometimes. So it's just that whole situation just kind of like triggered me so much.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm looking out for you. I
Appreciate
promise.
that. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
All right, whenever you're ready. I don't know about you, but I forgot why we were here. So it means my mind's pretty clear.
I do feel a lot better.
Good.
Don't be silly, Ma.
We'll end each session with some version of this. And we'll make sure that we continue to give you ways to fight the anxiety and ways to fight the possible depression that could onset. I want you to be really gentle with yourself through this process. If you feel yourself getting edgy with people, that's normal. If you feel yourself just feeling out of sorts, it's okay.
I do a good job. I don't know if you notice, of wearing a mask. When I'm on duty or I'm around people, I'm always going to try to be like the light of the party.
Yeah.
But, I'll just try to do a better job with my...
Say that last part again?
I said I'll try to do a better job with myself when I'm alone.
Yeah, for sure. And just remember the moment and the feelings that you're feeling right now. And allow yourself to go back into some of the practices that will trigger those memories. You'll be surprised. Next time you sit like this, you might hear waves. You might hear the sound of the wind in your hair. Like, you might hear and feel physically some of the things that you're experiencing right now, because our brain is so powerful. And all we got to do sometimes is just cause it to remember how peaceful that we can be, how peaceful our environment can be. So even when we're in the middle of chaos, we can be calling back on some of that peace. So I just want to encourage you to know that you have power in this situation. You are in control here, whether it's felt like it or not. You do have a lot more power than you might realize, a lot more control than you might realize.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate that, Dr. Sammy.
of course.
I might have to integrate some form of this into my daily routine. Absolutely.
And matter of fact, we can go over to Legion. Have you gotten a yoga mat recently?
You gave me one.
Yeah, it may or may not be worn out by now, but check to make sure, and if not, we can go get you another one. I think I need another one myself.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, I'm gonna walk back to the chopper, and I will not start it until I see that you are out of your namaste. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. No rush. That's what I meant. I should probably put my shirt back on, right? They might think it's weird. They already thought we were on a date.
Oh my gosh, that was so random.
Completely random. I think there were like 5 people there too.
Really?
Yeah, all in that little cluster.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm. I heard multiple voices. I dressed comfortable for my day of back-to-back-to-back therapy sessions, but that was definitely the most comfortable I've been yet.
Hey, I mean, I appreciate your comfort. Made it easier for you to, like, be able to express what you needed to.
I don't know why, but the helicopter is not going to let us take off. So let's get out. I don't know. But that definitely did not sound good.
No, it did not.
So you know what? The therapy session's not over. We're just going to take a nice walk back to the hospital.
That's cool. We got stairs over here.
Yep, this path right here. They're straight ahead. You see them? These should be the stairs that lead back.
We shall see.
Mm-hmm. Changed my mind.
That's fair.
It's a long walk.
It's kind of a long walk.
It's a long walk.
Well, what about that burrito y'all had a special?
Sweet bike.
A special?
You know, I have one similar to it. Not quite. Oh, this might be it, actually. Mine's tricked out a little nicer, though.
Ah. Nice. You're going to be like, y'all left in a helicopter, came back in a motorcycle.
Yeah, you damn right. That's how we roll.
That was nice, though.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for the ride.
Yeah, for sure. We'll thank whoever let me borrow their bike.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever's bike that is. Much appreciated.
All right. Back to it.
Yep.
Yeah, feel free to take a minute if you need to. It's no problem. Just come back on the pad whenever you're ready.